Hey, everybody, welcome to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. This is Christy Brower here with my sister, co host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going. It is going.
It
Tonight is
looks like it's
Thursday
tie-dye
night
night.
psychic show, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I said it looks like it's tie-dye night.
It is, yes, we are wearing that. This was not planned, you guys. How funny. I was wearing a tie-dye hoodie that looked a lot like that hoodie just a few minutes ago.
Oh, that's so funny. We are both in blue tie-dye for those of you that aren't in the live stream.
That is way funny. I will say, though, that you forgot the memo about wearing your unicorn headphones.
I know. I really need to order a pair of fancy headphones. You're showing me up every week. Yep.
I am wearing my unicorn, although I will tell you that the lights went out. And they take one of those dumb watch batteries that you never have the right size of.
Oh.
So one of these days I'm going to remember to change the battery. But, it's like you have to go to the store specifically to buy that one thing, which means it's definitely not happening anytime soon for me.
No, this is what we have finally started doing. And it has saved me. I opened a list on my Alexa because I have an Echo Show in my living room or in my kitchen and, a couple others in the house and on my phone. And so anytime I notice we're out of anything or something needs to be bought, I just say, Alexa, add blah, blah, blah to Katie's list. And then anytime you go to the store, no matter who you are in this house, everyone has Alexa on their phone. You are required to check the list and buy whatever's on it.
Oh my gosh. You just saved amazing. My life. I am going to do that because,
yeah. This thyroidless brain, I can't get shit done unless I have a list, And so,
since I had COVID, I swear to God, I lost a lot of brain cells because I cannot remember anything.
Yeah. No, I get you. Totally. That has made a huge difference. But also because no matter who goes to town, all they have to do is open the app and look on the list and whatever anyone has put on there is there.
Oh my gosh. I'm doing that. That is a brilliant idea.
Now, sometimes people
Tips
add
from the
things to the
Psychic
list.
Sisters.
There you go. Yeah. Now, sometimes there's things there that I'm not intending on buying because, people think they're funny,
Oh, add stuff on there.
Like double XL condoms or, people put things on the list to, throw someone else off. But,
Gotcha.
Anyway, that works really good. I'm here for it. Now y'all know. That's how you remember to buy the watch battery at the store.
I'm going to do that. That is brilliant because it is the only way I'll remember to buy the watch battery.
Yeah, I hear that.
So this is the Thursday night psychic show.
Yeah.
We are going to be doing readings later on in the show, but there is a caveat, and that is that we're going to be doing a relationship show. Of course we are. It's almost Valentine's Day.
We're so cliche.
It's so cliche.
So
However,
predictable.
I feel like it is a good idea to address it. So consider your question about a relationship. It can be a relationship with yourself, your spouse, your kid, your mom, whoever. It doesn't have to be romantic relationships, but let's stay focused on relationships.
Yeah.
For this show.
Yeah. Any relationship, any spin-off of that,
Katie may have some questions about her relationship with her pigs. I don't know. It could happen.
Needy. Have I mentioned how needy they are lately? Because they are real needy. That's all.
Yeah, I hear that. My dogs are too. I think everyone is just really damn tired of winter. And we're getting slammed this weekend. And so winter is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, it's a new moon today too. And it's a new moon in Aquarius. And I don't know. I just, I am so lacking motivation or ambition. It's just stupid. But,
I've been that way all week.
I have too. I'm driving myself crazy. But, for me, creativity comes in spurts. It's not fluid. I will have a big boost, a few months of like really creative, getting a lot done, doing a lot of projects, and then I'll hit a wall and I can either force myself through it or I can literally just take a break and go, probably I'm going to take a step back for a minute. And that's what I've done the last week or two. I've needed to. And I'm trying to be really cool with that and not force myself to do stuff because then I don't enjoy it anymore, So I'm trying to just be easy, just do the basics and just allow myself to take a break from big stuff right now. I just seem to need it. and I want to be okay with it, you know?
Yeah. I agree. And that's where I've been too. You do have to just kind of respect your body when you feel that way.
Yeah.
Bianca says, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, Bianca says she's excited for the self-love meditation I'm going to be doing this Sunday for Spirit School. So thank you
Yes.
for reminding me to plug Spirit School. So if you don't know, amongst all of the true crime stuff we do, we also have a membership here on YouTube that is called Spirit School. And in Spirit School, we do guided imagery meditations and teach metaphysical classes every month. And so for February coming up, the meditation is on Sunday, and it is a self-love meditation. Because honestly, I feel like, I don't know, we grew up seeing Valentine's Day a lot differently. Our parents
Yeah.
celebrated Valentine's Day with us. And
Yeah.
so we exchanged gifts with each other and, shared how much we love each other on Valentine's Day. So it wasn't just a romantic thing. It was like a whole family thing. And I think it's a really good way to look at Valentine's Day. I also think it's a super good time to really be looking at how are you loving yourself? Where's that? Where are you at with that or not? If you have not joined Spirit School, you can do that. If you just go to the homepage of our YouTube channel, so True Crime Paranormal on YouTube, there's a spot that says join. That's what you're joining is Spirit School. And so you'd get the meditation and then the two classes that we're doing this month. And we do that every single month. It's really a lot of fun. Katie and I have been teaching metaphysical classes for 15 years each.
Yeah.
And we love teaching this kind of stuff. And, putting that out there and helping other people learn how to connect with themselves spiritually and stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you, Bianca, for reminding me that.
Yeah, that is going to be awesome. Very good.
I want to remind you also that the Super Chat is on. So Super Chat is a way that you can purchase a sticker to show up in chat. And when you do something like that, basically what it does is it gives us a tip. And we appreciate that a lot on the reading shows because Katie and I are both professional psychics and we do get paid to do what we do. So when we do it here for you, we always appreciate a tip here and there. Just give us a little boost. So that is something
not required, but but if it's something you
appreciated,
you can do. Yeah.
Very appreciated.
So amidst all of this doing nothing, did you make dinner? What'd you make for dinner?
I did not make dinner. Rhonda made dinner. So Rhonda has become, first of all, she's been doing a lot of cooking lately, which is totally, totally awesome because I'm so burned out on cooking. I want it to be summer so that we can just grill every night. Yeah. So she has gotten keto pizza crust down to an absolute freaking science, you guys.
Nice.
To like see it and taste it, the fathead dough. But to see it and taste it, she gets it so thin. Like so thin. It's so good. So she made pepperoni black olive pizza for us, which was fantastic.
Ooh, I am jealous. I also did not cook. Mars keeps seeing this recipe popping up on TikTok and on Facebook. You guys have maybe seen it. It's the brick of feta cheese and you roast a bunch of olives with it. Or not olives, tomatoes. Sorry.
Tomatoes.
Great tomatoes and and some herbs and some spinach. Jeez almighty, spinach. And then you're supposed to, you bake that until it's like all, awesome and you stir it all up together. And then you stir in cooked pasta. So since we don't eat pasta, we're just going to eat it with chicken breasts. But anyway, she bought the stuff a couple of nights ago and it's just been too busy. This poor kid. Oh my God. She has something after school and then at night, like almost every day lately. Yeah. So she hasn't been able to do much of this, just the fun stuff. So anyway, tonight she's in charge of cooking. That's what she's making. So it smells amazing. So we'll see.
Nice. Ooh, I've heard it's very good. I hate tomatoes, so it's a hard pass for me. But I know other people love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So let's get into this. I want to talk about relationships a little bit. My wife and I have been together for 22 years, and your husband and you have been together for.
It'll be 24 years this I think it'll be 24 years. Married 24 years.
24 years, yeah.
But
in May.
We dated for 6 years before we got married. We started dating, 5 years. We started dating when we were 14 and we got married when we were 19.
Yeah.
And now we're 43.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, obviously, we've kind of figured out how to make this relationship thing work. Not that we haven't
Yeah.
had our bumps in the road, because we certainly have.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe what we could do tonight is give some advice from two people who've been married a long time and have managed to work through whatever challenges relationships threw our way. When you think
Yeah.
about your relationship, what do you feel like makes it the most successful?
Humor. Humor, I
Hmm.
think.
Oh, wow. Apparently Katie likes humor so much that she just kicked herself off from Be Live. So we'll jump into what I think makes my relationship work. And then I will get back to Katie. So Katie was saying humor, which I absolutely agree. In my relationship with my wife, we laugh a lot, and that's really, really important. Some other things, some things you compromise on and some you don't. We had a lot of trouble early in our relationship with money. And so one of the things that we figured out was to not combine our money. We actually have separate banks and separate bank accounts. And that has really, really helped us to realize that you're back, yay! That we don't have to follow the norm that married people have to combine their money and share a bank account.
Mhm.
No, we fight like crazy over that. And when we don't do it, we don't fight about money at all. Like, it completely solved it. So that's a
Mhm.
big one for me, I think, is just doing what works for your relationship,
Yeah.
not um, what the norms tell you you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. A lot of wisdom in that.
Hang on, I have to boot a troll who says having relationships with same sex is originally perverted until the ones perverted made it a law. Bye bye, Keith
Oh,
Williams. See you
see
never.
ya. Yuck. Yuck, yuck.
Yeah.
Good
So,
job. Yeah,
yeah.
we're not
So,
having that.
bye
So
bye.
I can't see the chat anymore, just so you know.
Oh, you
So
can't.
no, Be Live seems to be our tech seems to be having a little trouble tonight. So you are definitely on your own. That's
Sorry. I think I hid him. I don't know. Can I
well,
punch
if
him through the
not, Keith,
screen?
fuck off. Bye-bye.
Yeah, fuck off,
Yeah.
Keith. Don't come back to our show ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying in your relationship, before a lot of stuff happened, uh, getting back to things,
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
you
humor.
think humor is something that's been really good for your relationship.
I think it is. Yeah, I do. And we laugh a lot. We laugh at ourselves a lot and each other a lot. But that is something that I think is really important in relationships is to be able to laugh at yourself, you know, and to keep things fairly light. It's easy to get too heavy, and easy
Mm,
to take things too seriously. I learned a
mhm,
long time ago that I can take myself way too seriously and
sure.
or not myself so much as like just things too stupid things. My dad,
Mhm,
when I got married, my dad, some of the advice that he gave Scott. Now, recognize when Scott and I started dating, we didn't have any brothers that lived, or we had a baby brother that died when he was a baby, but so there were no boys in our family. So when Scott and I started dating, my dad was so excited to have a hunting and fishing buddy. And God knows we tried. We all tried. We tried to be hunters and fishers for him. We just weren't. Our little
right.
sister even took hunter's ed. She tried, man, but this just wasn't our jam.
No.
And so here comes this boy into the family that whose dad was didn't really have space for him. And so it was a match made in heaven. And these two, they camped together and hunted and fished. And, my dad taught him a lot about things like that. And they really enjoyed that together. And so he'd been very deeply in our family for a long time before we got married. But
Right. Yeah.
anyway, one of our dad's bits of advice for him when we got married was, if you win, you lose. And as misogynistic as that could come across, honestly, I think we both have taken it to heart over the years.
Mhm.
But you don't always have to win, and sometimes, and what is the price? You know, what is the price? It's so often I've discovered it's not worth it for me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
it's very true. I think that, yeah, it's not worth winning. There's no competition.
yeah. Yep. So
Um,
that's part of where it's at for me, I think. Actually, a lot of where it's at for me.
mhm, for sure. I think for us, we had to realize pretty early on that we don't always have the same interests and we don't always want to do the same thing. Now, I learned that from our parents. Our parents were really, really good at having their own interests,
Yep.
being supportive of one another's interests, but also
Mhm.
just allowing the other person to do what they want to do,
Yeah.
and you don't always have to go or do what they do. And
Mhm.
we really struggled with that early in our relationship, but we've gotten to a point now where it's like, hey, I'm going to go do this. Do you want to go? No, I don't really. Okay, that's fine. You do
Yeah.
you. I'm going to do me. That's okay. We don't
Mhm.
have to go everywhere and do everything together, and allowing
Mhm.
us both to just be, um, individuals
Yeah.
and have our own interests and things that we go to, and, that the other person doesn't always have to participate
Yep.
is really good. We have certain things where, we know, like, you can say to me, I really need you to come with me to this. Like, that's okay.
Sure. Yeah.
But sometimes, it's okay to be
Mhm.
like, no, I really just want to stay home, or I'm tired, or I want to do this. And it's
Mhm.
okay to do that.
Yeah. I think that's brilliant when there's a balance of it, you know? So some
Yes.
challenges I have seen in some of my clients' relationships is that when that gets out of balance
Hmm.
and it turns into that you're not doing anything together anymore, you know?
Yes.
And you don't have any ritual, you know? Every couple should have some rituals of things that they always do together, you know?
Hmm.
Like, we always buy the groceries together, which is kind of a weird one. I mean, honestly, when COVID first hit and I totally quarantined myself for about 9 weeks, I didn't leave the house at all. And damn, I love not going to the grocery store. But but that is one of our rituals. We always buy groceries together, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, we do
along
too.
with other things, you know. But I think it's important as for couples to have those things that are your thing. I also think that that's an
Hmm.
important thing to have with other people in your life, that you
Hmm.
have a thing, you know. For
Right.
example, tonight before the show, Mars got out of softball and called me and said, I really want a diet cherry limeade. So she came home and got me, and we went and got diet cherry limeades because that's our thing, you know. And
Right.
that gave us 30 minutes in the car to visit and chat about the day and catch up on some really important things happening in her life and go get our
Hmm.
drink that is our thing. I think having ritual in any relationship is a really important, not that ritual can't change and you should allow it to change when it needs to and not
Sure.
become an unhealthy thing. But I think having some things that are your deal are very important ways to bond and to trust each other and to have things to, to fall back on.
Right. Absolutely. I feel like that's super important. I know for us too, we have to remind ourselves, we have to remember to have fun. We have to
Hmm.
intentionally, like, we were just playing right before this show. Rhonda and I were playing Parcheesi. We play it
Hmm.
on the TV. It's a video version of Parcheesi.
Hmm.
And we were smack talking each other. And it was really fun. And that kind of stuff is important. You get,
Hmm.
ugh, life gets so boring when you're an adult, like all of the crap we all have to deal with and take care of in our houses and our jobs and the finances and all that stuff can get really drudgery, at least for
Yeah.
me. And so I have to remind myself that, hey, we need to do fun things
Yeah.
on on a really regular basis.
Yeah.
We play cards. We love to play Skip-Bo, and we love to play various games on the TV with
Yeah.
Rhonda's Switch, or some kind of video game system. We do that too. We
Yeah.
do that together, just the two of us, and then we also do it with our son. That's a pretty regular family thing. And I think
Hmm.
that we have to. I know I get a little too serious sometimes, and so I have to be like, hold the phone. We need to play a game. We need to do something funny or have some fun, because I take life a little too seriously sometimes.
Hmm. I think it's a really, really good reminder for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
What
think the
else?
other one of them for me has been remembering that I'm not the only one that might be feeling shitty or having a bad day or
Yeah.
needing something. I think it's easy for us to get a little egocentric, and be forgetting that you know, maybe you don't feel good today, or maybe you don't, you know, want to do this, or maybe there's a reason behind your behavior that I'm not keying in on. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? We're so quick to take things personally. And when my kids were teenagers, we had required reading at my house. And one of our required reading, we had a summer book club. They hated it, but it was fine.
It was good for them, though. It was medicine.
Yeah, we read The Four Agreements, and I highly recommend that you read that book. The Four Agreements, it's Toltec Wisdom by Don Miguel Ruiz. And the four agreements are basically the four agreements that you make with yourself.
Mhm.
Always be truthful, don't take things personally, be impeccable with your word, and always do your best. And those four elements to me ring true so beautifully in any relationship. And when you can have those agreements with yourself, I think it makes it much easier to be successful in other relationships,
Yeah.
because your ego's not running wild on you. You're not constantly getting your feelings hurt. You're able to take a step back from things and see them from a bigger perspective. And
Yeah.
because all three of my kids are very empathic and sensitive kids, I thought, I, moving, from a teenagers and into adulthood, I think they really need to have the tools of the four agreements, honestly. And so
Yeah.
we read it and discussed it, and I still remind them of those elements every once in a while when something comes up. But I think they're important for everybody.
They are so important for everybody. That's a great one. That's a
Yeah.
great one. Missy said that she
So
and her
good.
husband bonded over their love of Japanese art, which I think is
Nice.
awesome. That, yeah, when you have some shared interests, and that's important to develop. If you
Yeah.
don't know what they are, to develop them,
Mhm.
to be able to go together and do various things, that you both enjoy, so important.
Mhm. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, when that can be something that you love together, that you know, can appreciate in each other. Because then, Missy,
Yeah.
I'm sure whenever you see something come up online that you think he's interested in, you can't wait to send it over or show him or tell him about it, because that's something that he will appreciate or enjoy. Those are easy ways to bond, really.
They really are. Paula in the chat says to me, the ultimate bad idea is to marry someone you think you can change into what you want them to be. Yes.
Amen.
You married who you married.
Amen.
I mean, people don't change that much. We
No.
make small changes, we make incremental changes,
Yep.
but the core of who we are stays the same throughout our adult lives.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you think you can change or fix somebody, you can't. You can't.
No, and
That's the ultimate banging your head against a wall.
for sure. And if there are deal breakers from day one, you should not pursue this relationship.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And that, I feel like is a hard thing for empaths. And that's, one of the things I feel like is always important to talk about with relationships is that
Yeah.
as an empath, we see the good in people,
Mhm.
but we don't necessarily always see the reality in people. There's always good in people,
Mhm.
but is that good at the forefront of their personality and their choices? Or
Yeah.
is it buried deep inside of them and may never come out in their whole lifetime? It's just something that I think we all have to learn to discern and to
Yeah.
recognize that just because we know somebody can be this or that doesn't mean they're going to be. That's
Yeah.
probably the biggest problem I see in empath relationships everywhere.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I see that so much in empath relationships that I literally wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give you all a Valentine's gift from me. So I wrote a book called Relationships for Spiritual People. And
Yeah.
it is a book about breaking the cycle of negative relationships or patterns within your current relationship based on being an empath. And it is available on Amazon in ebook and also in paperback. But tonight, I am going to give anybody listening, well, anybody hears this show, a copy of the ebook for free because I would love to give it to you. It's one that if you are a person who has been challenged in your current relationship or with relationships in general, this book is really important to help you. I wrote it literally for you. So
Mhm.
if you would like a copy of it, go to our website, truecrimeparanormalpodcast.com. Down at the bottom of the page, there's a place where you can send us a message. It's usually used for a case suggestion. Instead, just send us the message that you want the ebook, and then I will send it to you. Because I felt inspired to write the book for empaths who have struggled and had some trauma in their relationships and, challenges in relationships. And I want to get it into the hands of as many people as I can. So just go to truecrimeparanormalpodcast.com, go down to the bottom where it says case suggestion and send a message there and just say, I'd like the ebook, and I will send it out to you.
That is awesome. That is very nice of you.
I don't know about you, Katie, but my work on the hotline I work on is about 95% relationship questions.
Yeah.
I work on relationship questions with people all day, every day, because relationships can be hard.
Yeah. All different kinds of relationships.
Yes.
I probably work on coworker relationships almost as much as I do on like romantic relationships, Oh, well, and parent-child relationships. I do a lot of work on that too. But
Yeah.
coworker relationships has been a huge one.
Oh,
Not
tough.
as much this last year because a lot of people have been working from home, which has actually made it better in some ways,
So true.
But coworker relationships is a huge one. And I love that, you're offering tools to help people, really work through not just romantic relationships, but all wild relationships in their lives.
Yeah. Yeah. It is about working through all the relationships in your lives and figuring out in some ways how there is a connection between relationships in your early childhood to the relationships in your life now.
Yeah.
So you'll see it when you get it. But yeah, I'm happy to give it to as many of you are as interested, because I have been blessed with a good relationship. I will admit that we broke up for a year when we'd been together for 5 years.
Mhm.
And then we got back together, and we've now been back together for 17. So, it's been a while. But I feel really lucky to have been able to work our relationship and make it work in our family. And I want to be able to share that with other people, because I know how powerful having a supportive relationship and home life can be,
Mhm.
and how much we all need that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add about relationships before we get started answering relationship questions in the chat?
No, I don't think so. I think we pretty much covered it. No, I think we covered it. I'm good.
Okay. Sounds good. Me too.
How's that for indecisive? But no, I think
There's indecisive.
we're in
Okay,
a
so
good
the
spot.
questions we want to answer tonight are relationship questions. It can be relationships, any kind of relationship. But if
Mhm.
you do have a question and you would like a reading, you can do that by just posting that in the chat. And we will answer those. And I know you still can't see the chat. Is that right, Katie?
I know. I got nothing.
I don't know what happened. Okay. Well, I'm going to go back to the beginning. Okay. So JR would like some work on their relationship with body image and food.
Okay.
So why don't you take a look at that one?
Okay.
And while you take a look at that, I'm going to take a look at Cammie. Cammie says, will my 31-year-old son pull his head out of his butt? I have a 25-year-old son. I totally get that. And realize that since we don't believe the same things does not make me a bad person. We haven't spoken since the election.
Oh dear.
If that gives you an idea of the dilemma. Oh, we haven't spoken since after Christmas. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that is rough. Okay, so I will work with Cammie, but do you want to go with whoever I gave you? Sorry.
Yeah. JR. I've got it.
Oh, JR, right.
Yeah.
The chat froze for a second and I couldn't move it. So, okay.
So, JR, what comes up for me on this situation? The first thing that hit me was really wondering about what your mom's relationship with food and body image was like. and what kind of talk you received as a kid about food. Because my suspicion is that because the voices I'm hearing in this, are some mean stuff around food and around eating, either from a mom or a grandma, maybe both. But that really started to color your feelings, your energy around food and around body image and around shame. And so, one thing I want to challenge you to do is to flip that voice into a healthier one. So, food, when we break it down to its core, is an essential element of life. We have to eat in order to survive. But food is also something that a lot of, that all humans use to some degree for enjoyment, for pleasure, for comfort. And that's okay. Somehow society has led us to believe that there's something wrong with that and we should feel bad about that. That's not true. Now, obviously, sometimes we get out of control on those things, and that's where we have to work a little bit, obviously. But I'm going to ask you to start blessing your food, just putting your hands over it and or holding it up to your heart and just filling it up with your light, with white light from your hands or from your heart, and blessing it with whatever you want it to do for you and loving it rather than hating the food you're putting in your body, feeling guilty or shamed about the food you put into your body, that you start blessing it and loving it. Same goes for medication, by the way. If any of you guys are struggling with having to take meds and feeling bad about it, start blessing your meds instead and see if you do better with them. But
Awesome.
that's the first step, JR. And of course, body image requires an enormous amount of the head game, of self-talk. But I'm going to really highly recommend that you work on some positive affirmations around your body. That I do love myself and I am comfortable in my body and I'm okay with who I am. I know that this is kind of a fake it till you make it kind of thing, that sometimes affirmations are, but I'm going to really encourage you to do some studying on positive affirmations, get a few put together around food and around self image, and start repeating them to yourself every day and focusing on them a little bit. You have the right to like yourself. You have the right. I did a show recently with a friend of mine. Her show is called Bitch Splaining. And that night we called it Fat Splaining. And we were talking about the fact that in our society, if you are actively working on your body, you better be saying so, right? Like it's okay to be overweight as long as you promise you're trying, or underweight or whatever, you have
Right.
to at least, I'm trying to be better. Bullshit. You don't have to be better. You can be exactly who you are, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So that's where I'm going with that, JR. But let's really think about looking at food more as sustenance and as something that you deserve to have, and it's okay. And see if we can help shift the script on the mean voices that want to beat you up and shame you.
Yeah. Take the guilt out of it for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, Cami. So the question about your son. I feel it's going to take some time because his ego is all wrapped up in this. And once he even begins to realize that maybe this isn't the way that he wants to, separate himself from his mother, it's going to take him some time to be able to admit that. What I would like to do for you is some energy work to pull some of the cords that have developed between the two of you over this, and then to thin your relationship cord. So we all have permanent cords to our biological children, parents. And there goes Katie. We lost her again. Oh, well, she'll come back. And so with your son, that cord between the two of you has gotten really thick and heavy and full of a lot of really challenging emotions. And that kind of keeps the fight going, even though you're not communicating. And so I'm going to work on that cord for you and help to thin it down and take some of that challenging energy out of it, because I really feel like that's part of it, is that there's this energy in those cords between the two of you that's kind of keeping the battle going. And then I feel like you got to give him some time to get a hold of himself. He's going to be embarrassed. He's going to feel bad about this eventually. It's going to take his ego a little time to heal before he can come back around and admit that maybe he had treated you unfairly, because he clearly has. But in the meantime, the cord pulling will help you quite a lot, and will help him to, it will help to kind of bring the tension level down, turn the temperature down a little bit between the two of you. And I feel like that will help a lot. So I'm going to do that while we go on to a question for Katie. Yeah. Hey, Katie, you're back.
I'm back. That is so weird. Both times that's happened, I can see you and hear everything, but I'm just gone. And now the chat's back too.
Oh, now the chat's back? Well, good.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Our tech is struggling just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this question is from Oriana. Oriana says, can I get a reading from my mom? It's been 6 years since she's passed, and her birthday is coming up this weekend. Thank you.
Oh.
So I am going to work on Cammie's question. I'm going to do the energy work for Cammie and her son while you talk to Oriana.
Okay, absolutely. Oh, Oriana, you know I love your mom. We've had many fun conversations with her over the years. Let's tune into her. Okay, she is not pleased with the boys at your house. Either of them. She says if she was living there, she'd be so damn mad. She wants you to know that she recognizes the challenges of helping these two and taking care of them. And she wants you to know how much she sees you and recognizes the struggles around all of that. And, you know, she says she hopes that you can hear her sass and sarcasm coming through. She says she feels like you can, you know, and that you have some chuckles, you know, when you're already ranting and raving in your head about what's happening there. But that's too much. She just wants you to know, honey, how much she loves you and misses you. She says she can't believe it's been 6 years. I don't think it's felt like 6 years for her nearly as much as it's felt like 6 years for you, you know. But she's right here. But she wants you to know, she knows she's not happy with him either.
I can hardly believe it's been 6 years since your mom passed, Oriana. That blows me away.
Yep.
Time really goes fast.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question too, Katie, because I don't know. I don't have a clear read on this, so I want you to take a look. Okay. This is Lisa. She says, does my ex know something about a missing person and being threatened? Himself, wrong place, wrong time.
Say it to me again.
Okay. Does my ex know something about a missing person and being threatened? Himself, wrong place, wrong time. So like he was in the wrong place, wrong time? So he witnessed something, maybe being threatened. That's what she's asking, I think.
That does not resonate with me. Part of it does.
Me either.
Part of it does. When you asked, does your ex know something about a missing person? I actually felt affirmative on that. But then the second part of the question about someone being threatened actually did not ring true to me. So for what it's worth, I feel like there's two parts of that question, and one of them is an affirmative and the other one is not. And that's what's coming through for me on that.
Okay. Okay. And maybe she can clarify a little bit for us too. I was not 100% sure what the question was exactly.
Yeah.
Jessica says, my husband and I joke that I married my stalker. Our paths just kept crossing for about a year before we actually talked to each other. That is funny. Well, you know, I got to tell you that sometimes there is I call it a vibrational match in the heart chakra. And when a vibrational match happens, it literally means that you are drawn to one another. And I feel like that happens. That actually happened with my wife and I. So we were introduced in college. My roommate, when I was in college, I was renting the basement from a girl that knew my wife and my wife's friend group. She was getting her master's degree in counseling. I was getting my bachelor's in social work. And so they thought that we would, get along and would, have some interests in common. Well, they several times tried to set it up so that we would go to a women's basketball game at our college, so that we could meet each other. And every time one of us went and the other one didn't. It happened several times. And then apparently Rhonda had my phone number for weeks before she dared call me. But we had a bunch of that should have crossed paths several times kind of things before we did. And I feel like sometimes that happens to us when we're literally being led or pulled to someone that is the right person for us at that time.
Yeah, I love that. That's really sweet.
Yeah. So let's both work on this one. This is Kirsten, and she says, I am wondering when I will find a new love.
Oh, Kirsten. Well, COVID has just ruined that for everyone, hasn't it?
Oh my gosh, hasn't it?
But everyone thought online dating was hard
COVID
before COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it much harder. So I'm going to say this on predictory work when we're looking at relationships.
Yes.
What we're looking at is right now, if things stay the same, you could change something. If the person I'm seeing, if, in 2 months you ended up moving to another city, maybe it wouldn't come together. Maybe something else would happen for you. So I just want to make sure that I throw that out there, because when you're predicting relationships, there's a lot that can change. But let's take a look at it anyway and see if anything strong comes up.
For sure.
Yeah.
And while you're looking at that part, what I want to say is one really important part of attracting a new relationship into your life is making sure that you've let go of the old ones. I feel like you might have a little bit of a torch for somebody that didn't work out. So if you're carrying that just a little bit, make sure that you are letting that go and that person go so that there is space in your life for a new relationship. Sometimes I recommend this to my clients all the time. Sometimes you have to write a breakup letter to someone who already broke up with you a long time ago. You need to, on your end, actually physically end the relationship. So you write a little breakup letter. These are all the reasons why I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm releasing you. I'm moving on. And then you burn the letter. Yeah. Sometimes, because we've all been there, you hang on to something that isn't working. And even though the other person has let you go, you can't let them go. So I want to make sure that if there's any of that going on with you, that you definitely work on that, because it will help another relationship come into your life so much easier.
That's perfect. So I actually do feel like there's a relationship coming in for you. I feel like you're going to start talking to a couple of different people early in the spring. And one of them is going to come on really strong and then just really peter off and kind of ghost you. And you'll be like, what the hell? But someone else you've been talking to a little more sporadically comes in much stronger right about the end of June, first part of July. And that does solidify into something, at least at this point. That's where it looks to me. And so to keep your options open, be willing to talk to a few different people and feel some things out and see what feels good. But I actually do think something's coming in this year. So yay. Yeah.
Love it. Okay. So Missy would like to know, will my 23-year-old daughter find a stable relationship that's good for her too, and her 2-year-old son? Apparently she doesn't have any trouble attracting men. They're just not the kind of men that see she and her son as a package deal. The first thing that comes up for me is I don't feel she will find a relationship until he's in elementary school. I honestly feel like he just needs to be her primary focus right now. And that once he is in school, I feel like she will, and, has a little more freedom, that I feel like she will find a good relationship, but I don't feel like that's coming anytime soon. I think she's got 3 or 4 years. And if she could just allow for that, we live in this weird society that tells us we have to be in a relationship all the time. And it is not true. We are 100% capable and whole and healthy on our own. And if we are in a relationship, it's great. And we should be in one because we want to be in one, not because we need to be in one. There's nothing wrong with not being in a relationship. And I feel like for her, that is her best bet right now, is that honestly, she just take a break, step back, and the right person is going to come. But I really feel like her son's going to be in elementary school before that happens.
Yeah. And that person will be divorced with a couple of kids.
Yeah.
That they're going to,
she's going to have
a mixed family situation. Yep.
I
or a
agree.
blended family situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And when that happens, let's just all kind of encourage for her that she looks at someone that's a little bit older than her. She's got a lot
Mhm.
of man babies around her, a lot of little boys,
Yeah.
who are in no way ready for an actual relationship. And I feel like that's part of what keeps burning her. I feel like when
Yeah.
she finally lands, it'll be with someone who's a little bit older, has a much more established career, and is divorced and has a couple of kids that
Mhm.
they will have all these kids hanging out together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That it's a much more family oriented person,
Uh-huh.
much more mature person.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Katie, here's one for you. Bianca says, my husband and I have a great relationship, but I've been having mental health issues, which is a topic he strays from.
Mhm.
How can we get the support we each need from each other?
That might require a little bit of couples therapy. I know that's going to make him nervous. This whole thing makes him nervous because he doesn't understand. And I feel like there's some stigmas in his family around just that, kind of in his heritage around mental health that have made this subject a little bit hard. But I feel like being able to sit down with someone that can kind of help explain to him a few things about mental health that he doesn't understand. It's not that he doesn't want to understand. This just takes him way out of his element and makes him so nervous.
Yeah.
Even if it was the most casual, not even couples therapy, but even just sitting down with a friend who has a great grasp on mental health, something, somebody that besides you that can go, hey, these are some things that I noticed, or that, that she could use some support in, or that you might, pay attention and watch for. And I think he could use that. One thing he needs is to feel like he has some kind of a tool here. He feels so helpless to help you. And that's the worst feeling in the world for him,
Yeah.
because when this stuff comes up, he honestly doesn't get it. He has no reason to, or hasn't had in the past. He doesn't understand, and then he feels helpless. And so I wonder about just a quick checklist of, if you notice me in this kind of a state, will you remind me to take my meds? Or will you suggest that perhaps I need to make an appointment with the doctor? Or can you just check in with me and make sure I'm okay? Or if I'm having a day like this, would you just take me in the car and take me to get a soda and get some sunlight? Just some things like that. I feel like he could really use some action, some suggested action, so he actually knows what to do to provide support. Yeah, it's scary. It's scaring the crap out of
Mhm.
him.
I love that idea, though, giving him some jobs. Like, when I'm struggling, these are the things that you should do, because I
Mhm,
agree. He doesn't know what to do.
mhm. Yep.
And so he just
But
shuts down.
then you have to be cool with it too. If on that day he's like, "Huh, have you taken your meds?" You're not like, "Oh, god damn it, how dare you?"
Yeah.
That would be me.
Right.
But
Yeah. Then you have to accept it and
yeah,
allow it too, for sure.
yeah. But I do think giving him some tools, some jobs would make a big difference. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Joe wants to know, will Paul and I ever be together in the future? If the answer is no, that's okay. Well, the answer is no, Joe.
Mm.
That
Mhm.
ship has sailed. It's just not the right thing for you in this lifetime. And I'm sorry. And I know that can be hard to accept, but you might want to write that breakup letter I was talking about a few minutes ago to
Mhm.
release Paul and to release yourself
Yeah.
so that something even better can come into your life.
Right. Because
Some
understand.
relationships just aren't meant to be long term.
Yep, or they've just run their course. Whatever was here just is not gonna be replicated in the future. The other thing that I've seen so many times with people is that when you continue to hold on to the thing that isn't working, there's no room in your life for something that is,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, it's sometimes amazing how when you tear that Band-Aid off, something else comes in pretty quickly that is a good thing and a right thing for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, and Katie, I'm going to let you talk to Elizabeth. She just lost her dad on Sunday.
Oh,
She wants to know if there are any messages. And I know you, as a medium, kind of have some things to say about when
yeah.
it's time to seek messages and maybe when it's not quite yet. So, how do you want to?
No, I can tune into your dog, Elizabeth. I'm just gonna tune in through you.
Dad, not dog, please.
Oh,
You said
dad.
dog. Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking for a dog.
I
That's
know, you
what I
said
was
dog,
like.
and I was like, "Oh, shit, you heard me wrong. It's dad."
I did, and I'm
Poor
tuning into
Elizabeth
her
was like,
going,
"What are you talking
"Okay, which
about?"
dog am I talking to?" "Okay, dad. Sorry, good God." He needs to come to the party. Okay, let's look at dad, and I'm so, so sorry to hear that.
Oh, me too, Elizabeth.
We know how that feels, and it blows. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's tune in on dad. He's resting. He's got some R&R here. He's got some recovery to do. I'm not going to have a strong message from him tonight. He's around you, and I'm definitely picking him up, but he's got some work to do. And so what I am going to give you from him is just a big love from him. He wants you to know that he loves you and that he's trying to figure this out. Being out of body is really hard when you've been in body for a long time. So he's just really assimilating to that. Next, let's give it a few weeks and let's go back. And I think it'll be no problem at all to visit with him. But for now, I think we'll leave him with that and just let him know that we'll let him rest too and let him be around you in whatever capacity he can be. And we'll let it go right there for now. But
Yeah.
so much love for you. You
Absolutely.
get some rest.
Yes.
Grief is the most physically painful and exhausting thing that most people will ever go through.
Oh, it
And we
is.
don't know that. Nobody tells you that.
Right.
Make sure, and I feel like you, because you feel exhausted to me, make sure you are
Yeah.
getting some good rest. Let some things go if you have to. It's okay. You need to rest.
You do. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Katie.
Yeah.
Lauren says, how can I move past the toxic relationships from my past? So the first thing, Lauren, is if you didn't hear me before, I am giving away my book called Relationships for Spiritual People. It is actually breaking the cycle of negative relationships and finding your heart light is the name of the book. It is literally written for you. So go to our website, truecrimeparanormalpodcast.com. Go to the bottom of the page where it says, send us a case suggestion, and just send a little message that says, I would like the book so I can send it to you. I want you to read my book. Getting past toxic relationships from your past is not something we can address in one reading. There's a lot to it, but I would love for you to get a free copy of my ebook and read it because I wrote it for you, and you can get past those relationships, but you have to break the cycle. That's the thing. So get the book and read it, and it will teach you how to do that. And then come back and talk to us because I would love to talk to you about it some more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's one for you, Katie. This is a mediumship one from Gigi. My mom left a sealed letter in her will papers. When she passed, the letter was gone. Can you tell me what it said?
Ooh. Well, I will try. Tune into mom.
Oh, gosh. Just as she goes to tune into your mom, Gigi, we drop her again. I don't know what's going on with the intranets, but I'm sure she'll be back in a minute, and we will let her keep moving on with that. Shell says, missing my ex. It was his birthday yesterday. It's been 14 years, and we miss each other. Now, I need you to clarify. You say we miss each other. Any messages? Is it 14 years since your relationship broke up, or did he die? Want a clarification on that, Shell? If you could just answer that, that'll help us to answer your question. And guess who's coming back to talk
Back
to
again.
Gigi? I do not know what's happening tonight, you guys, but we are tenacious, so we just don't give up. So,
That
Katie,
so
take it away.
All right. So, Gigi, I'm tuning into mom. I was curious to know if she removed the letter or if the letter got lost.
Well, it sounds like the letter
It,
went missing before she passed.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was asking her, did you decide you didn't need that in there anymore? Or did it get misplaced? She says it got misplaced. Oh, but she put her hands up and said, but no matter. No matter. It was actually just, it was some notes for the for family members about just a few quick things about what she loved about them and appreciated about them. She
Yeah.
said she wrote it when she was feeling like kind of down and feeling kind of like maybe she hadn't expressed that enough to people, even though I think she had. But anyway, she got worried for some reason that maybe somebody else didn't know. Some of you guys didn't know how much she loved you and cared about you. And she said it was basically a few lines for everybody to just, throw some things out there about, these are some things that I've loved and appreciated. So
Uh,
she said, no matter. She said she realized after she passed that those messages did get across more than at the time she wrote it. I think she was actually quite depressed and was kind of down on herself and felt like she wasn't loving people as much as she wanted to. So
uh,
anyway, she said she wants you to know that she's not worried about it being lost, but that's what it was. It was just a love letter. She said, yeah,
nice. Well, that is too bad that it got lost.
yeah.
So Jessica would like to know, my son and I don't talk as much as I would like. Is he upset with me, I assume, that we moved? And honestly, no, I don't feel like he's upset that you moved. I feel like he does feel a little left out. I feel like he understands the move, but there's a part of him that feels left out. And so I feel like he doesn't feel like he's sort of part of the in conversation anymore because of that. I would suggest, if you can, starting some kind of a group family chat to keep everybody up, if you're not, if you're not living locally, to keep track of how everybody's doing, and find some ways to include him that aren't direct, hey, I want to talk to you, because I feel like that makes him retreat a bit. So a group chat, like we have a couple of different groups, don't we? We have a Snapchat group, we have a Facebook Messenger group, and then we have a text group with our cousin who lives in Salt Lake City. And we use those to keep up with people that we don't see all the time. And it helps a lot, just a little bit. Hey, this happened to me at work today. This was so funny, or whatever. It makes us feel included in each other's lives. I feel like that's what he needs. And that if he were to feel more included, that he would then be more willing to talk and
Engage
stuff.
a little
And
more.
honestly,
Yeah.
I just feel like he's not a big talker, and he's not a big talker on the phone.
Yeah.
And so that's a little hard for him, but to include him in ways that make him feel, like he's still a part of things, I feel like is super important. So you know him best. You'll find some ways to do that.
Yep. And sharing through tech, that with these guys, that's the way you do it. It is through tech, whether, like it or hate it, that is where it's at.
It is. And, I don't know about your family, but one of our favorites in our family is to tell funny and embarrassing stories. So when something really stupid happens to me, the very first thing I do is send it out to the family group chat, because I know everybody's going to get a good laugh at it. So stuff like that,
Yep.
would be good if that's whatever your family dynamic is. For us, it's all about humor with all of us. We love to get embarrassed and then tell everyone about it, or for someone else to get embarrassed and then we tell everyone all about it. For Katie's husband to get embarrassed and then we tell everyone all about it.
Yeah, poor Scott. Many times over the years, he's done something
He's pretty used to it.
absolutely hysterical. Yeah.
And it's not because we're making fun of anybody. We just love to laugh. So find some ways to just include him like that.
Yep.
Katie, Sandy would like to know, how do I feel content and move past the past?
That's a biggie, isn't it? A couple of things, like from an energetic place, I feel like some really good clearing work would be called for you, probably more than what I can do on the radio tonight, or on the YouTube. But I think a really big clearing would make a really big difference for you. The other thing that I feel like would be useful for you is doing some forward planning. So have a goal sheet, have a calendar, have a list, that you're just setting some goals, not just goals, but you're just, making plans. It's funny how we don't make plans for small things. We only plan for big things. And if you can't do the big things, maybe you can't go to Cancun in June or whatever. And so we don't really plan things. Plan the little things, plan to buy a new shirt, plan to take a road trip to another town to go to dinner. Plan small things, but look
Yeah.
forward to things. Look and put them on your calendar, and go next Thursday, I'm doing this. I feel like just looking at the future more is going to make a difference for you. But again, I think some really good clearing work because you have a lot of trauma from your past that just keeps grabbing you. And that's your ego. Your ego wants to keep you safe. So your ego constantly goes, yeah, but remember that one time? And you're like, no, life's
Yeah.
good right now. I don't want to remember that one time. But your ego's like, yeah, but that one time this thing happened to you. That's where I think some good clearing work would, be really helpful and beneficial for you. Any thoughts on that?
No, I agree. I agree. And I think the goal sheet, I also really think that a gratitude list, a daily write
Mhm.
5 things that you're grateful for. It just helps to shift your thinking away
Mhm.
from negative things from the past to positive things in the present.
Yeah.
It can be as small as my cup of
Yeah.
coffee this morning, or I woke up on time, or my
Yeah.
favorite shirt, or whatever. But
Mhm.
just shifting your thinking and focus into the present and to the positive.
Yeah.
Our thoughts are so important when it
Mhm.
comes to how we view the past,
Yeah. And it's a head
and
game, it's a head game. And
it is.
like Christy was talking about breakup letters, you might need to write a bunch of them. Not
Mhm.
just breakup letters from relationships, like romantic relationships, but just from bullshit,
Yeah,
Maybe you need to write some to old bosses and to old friendships that dissolved and, again, they get burned, they don't get sent because who
no,
wants to open that can of worms?
right.
But I wonder about that as well. Some good.
It is about expressing yourself and releasing
Yeah.
that energy from yourself for sure.
Mhm.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
get to a couple more here. We're just about out of time.
I have to say
Oh,
that Cooper's friend said that I should get cat headphones because I keep popping in and out tonight, and it's making her think of the song, "The cat comes back, it wouldn't go away." Or the cat came back, it wouldn't go away. I get this.
maybe we
Maybe I
should
would
get cat
stay.
filters like that attorney.
Did you guys see that? Oh my gosh.
Guys, if you need a good laugh, look up attorney cat filter. If you have not seen this video, do yourself a favor. It
Yeah.
is hilarious.
It's me,
Let's
Judge.
see.
I am not a cat.
I am really here. I am not a cat. Yes, I can see that, says the judge. Oh my gosh, it was also deadpan. It was great.
Mhm.
Pamela says, will my granddaughter ever find love and trust? Here's the thing, Pamela. Your granddaughter does not trust herself. And
No.
because she doesn't trust herself, she's not bringing people into her life that are trustworthy. There's a lot of mirroring that happens in our lives. What we put out into the world is exactly what we get back, is kind of the idea here. And so her first step is to work on trusting herself. And when she trusts herself, she will find someone who is trustworthy. So just a little something to think about with her that may be helpful. Okay, really quickly, let's see. Katie, just a boom snap answer. Melissa says, the man I used to love, is he the one?
Not anymore. No. Nope. His path changed and no.
Yeah. Yep, I would agree. Jari says, I find that I always have to be right, and I usually am. But it does lead to arguments, and most of the time it doesn't matter anyway. Trying to work on this. Here's the thing, Jari. You got to look at what's underneath that. Like, what is the core belief that you developed in childhood about needing to be right? Who growing up around you always had to be right, and why? What's the
Mhm.
insecurity behind the needing to be right? It isn't the needing to be right. There's a fear behind it that is the answer to that. So I want you to work on that a little bit, but
And
learn
sometimes that's a straight up safety thing.
Mhm.
When
Yeah,
you were a kid, you had to read the room. You had to know what was happening.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just want to say thank you so much to all of you that posted stickers in the super chat. We really, really appreciate your support and
Yeah.
your
You guys rock.
your forever presence with us and support of us. Every little bit that comes our way helps us keep doing what we're doing, and we really appreciate that a whole lot.
Mhm. And it feeds the diet cherry limeade addiction.
Well, sure it does. Okay, we're gonna do this very last question. Okay, we're gonna do two very last questions, and then we got to go. Shell, yes, her ex died 14 years ago, and they were very close. So it was just his birthday. You're just wondering if there's any messages from him, Katie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me tune in. Okay. You know what's so cute? What he's showing me is manual labor. Don't get me wrong. Not like well, I'll tell you. He's showing me things like helping you with stuff. Like maybe pushing snow or mowing the lawn or you carrying something into the house or like he's showing me things like that that he says he really misses being able to just help you, to just kind of work alongside of you, to just be a team. He said when you guys were a good team, you were an amazing team. He says that you're not just your, you're the love that you had for him, but the friendship you had for him, and also the coaching you had for him. He says that you were often his well, he said life coach of sorts, but he also said conscience. He said you helped keep him in check. Sometimes you helped him to he said stay humble. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, he said that you were one person in his life that could say things to him that probably nobody else could. But he said he misses the camaraderie and teamwork with you that he had more than anything else. And yeah, so he wants you to know that he loves you and he really wishes that he could still have that kind of, that he could still just help you with stuff and be there for you when you have a need come up. Yeah, really sweet.
Yeah, very sweet. Okay, one last one, Megan, and then that'll be it for tonight, you guys. We really appreciate all of you being here and all of your support. Megan wants to know, I had a friend who was extremely close, always felt we had a deep but toxic connection. We fell apart 7 years ago. I still have dreams that I swear is him reaching out. Will we cross again? And I feel that no, you will not. What I feel is that you have some past life history and that pulls you together and that continually sort of pulls you together. But ultimately in this lifetime, you're not good for each other. That deep feeling comes from the previous life experiences, but it doesn't negate the fact that your relationship was toxic in this lifetime.
Right.
So,
but if we can bring you a little comfort on that, because that's a hard feeling. It's a very lonely feeling, just because this lifetime things are
right.
kaput doesn't mean you're done.
Exactly.
You have a soul connection to this person. You guys will have an opportunity to work on this when you've both gone home, and so I think there's a lot of peace, in knowing, no, you're not done. There's still more to come for you guys in a healthier way, and that in this lifetime it gets to be complete so that you can move on and, seek something healthier and happier. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, Glowing Ember has one question really quick, but yes, thank you for that, Katie. Just remember that sometimes our relationships span many lifetimes. And so although one lifetime doesn't work out, it doesn't mean that we aren't going to come back around. Okay, one last question where everybody wants us to answer this one. So I think this one's going to be for you, Katie. My mother promised me I would get her wedding rings when she died. I never received them. Although my siblings knew she told me this, my sister claims mom told her she didn't want me to have them. Can you tell me if my mom truly told her that?
No.
Yeah.
No, she didn't. But boy, was there some deep jealousy there. And what a mean stab to take at you after the passing of your mom. She did want you to have them. I feel like it just pissed your sister off and made her jealous. And so she threw that out there. And I feel like your other siblings just didn't really have the guts to go up against her. And so it just became the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is what mom says to do about it. She knows you're never going to get them. She wants you to go buy a ring. She said, don't spend a lot. She put her hand up like this. Don't spend a lot. She said, go buy a ring and just let it be mom's ring. Just buy something beautiful that you think, again, she's like, oh my God, don't go spend a fortune on this. But she would like you to just buy a ring that you think that she would have loved and let it be yours and just let that be you and hers little thing. So that you still get a ring from mom. Maybe it's not her wedding rings, but you still get something that, she's blessed and condoned and wants you to have. I am so sorry for that. That really sucks.
Yeah, what a wrong thing to do.
Yep.
She says, thank you. I always thought that was the case.
Yep. Boo.
Yeah, sorry. Well,
so bonkers. When people die, the behavior of others sometimes is unbelievable.
It
Yeah.
gets way out of hand. We'll have to do a whole show on that one time, won't we?
Yep.
Well, thank you all for being here. Don't forget, you can always find Katie at one2listen.com for a reading. You can find me over on the Purple Ocean app. And don't forget, if you join the show late and you didn't know, I'm giving away a Valentine's Day gift, and it is a copy of my book, Relationships for Spiritual People. So go to truecrimeparanormalpodcast.com. Down at the bottom where you can fill out a form to suggest a case, just fill out the form and say you want the book, and I will send you a copy of the ebook. So thank you so much for all your support and kindness and just presence with us, because we certainly couldn't do a reading show if you weren't here asking questions.
No, we couldn't.
Yeah. So we
You
really
guys are the best.
Yes, the very best. So, of course, we will be back. I will be back on Sunday morning in Spirit School with a self-love meditation. You don't want to miss that. If you haven't signed up for Spirit School and you would like to, just go to the home screen of our YouTube channel and click join. That is how you join our metaphysical, what am I looking for? Membership.
There you go.
Lost the word.
I don't know. I'm no help.
And of course, we will be back next week with 3 new cases and all the other good stuff we're doing. So we are True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Have a great night.
Take care. Okay.